Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another episode of New to Weeaboo. This is episode 59 for November 3rd, 2021. I am Nemesis, and I am joined by Alcatraz here.
Hello.
Yeah, it's November. Fall anime is underway. A couple things, I guess, have happened in the anime world yet. One is not really something super interesting to us, but I guess it's apparently a big in the deal in some ways. Arc Knights apparently is getting an anime adaptation, which is a mobile game.
Yep,
that's the thing that's happening. I'm not surprised considering some of the ads I've seen has some pretty intricate animation stuff.
Yeah, I keep seeing Arc Knight stuff around. I haven't paid a huge amount of direct attention to it myself, but I don't know, it might be interesting.
Yeah. And the thing personally is actually shortly after we recorded last time was Zombieland Saga movie has been announced.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah, they announced that during a live show they did, which I didn't get to watch, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was a weird announcement too, how they did it.
Yeah, it was one of their weird, that's to do a weird trailer thing again.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Zombieland Saga movie is coming, so great. We'll see if they deal with the movie thing, the thing at the end of the series or not.
How the heck they're gonna deal with that?
Yeah, so you'll see that. So that's the things I was just off the top of my head.
There was a couple tangent anime. Nishijo manga is apparently coming back.
It's back. It's after a long hiatus, it's back, I guess.
Yep, the Nishijo manga. Also, the live-action Cowboy Bebop teaser has been released.
There's been multiple of those.
Yeah, but there was another one that was just this week came out.
Yeah, and it's also a thing that apparently now Cowboy Bebop, also the original, is also on Netflix.
Yep.
Because, they have the rights to they're making the new live action one, makes sense.
Yep.
We'll see if they mess it up or not.
Yeah, the teasers I've seen look really interesting how they pull them off.
Because I know it's apparently more or less is a straight remake of very close remake of the original anime.
I have the Blu-ray.
Woo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw it at Walmart when I was like, yep, gonna have to get it.
Yeah. But anyway, we're here to talk about fall anime have begun. Once again, it's the thing where pick 4 at random, watch the first 3 episodes, and some of my initial thoughts. And once again, of course, no sequels, spin-offs, or continuations.
Yep.
It has to be new.
It can be from a manga, or game.
Or a remake or something, but yeah, it can't be continuation. It has to be basically starting from zero.
Yep.
So, once again, 4 of them. So, we're going to go ahead and start off with, I guess, the first one we drew, which is Sakugan. Which kind of immediately, when I saw what it was about, immediately drew my interest. And, it's basically kind of a thing where it's like, you got this girl named Memenpu. Yeah.
Memenpu.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those weird names.
It's a weird one, but whatever.
Throws you off if you speak English. Memenpu, she's a 9-year-old who's already graduated college. She the whole thing is she lives in an underground city thing, and because it's a heavy implication to some post-apocalypse thing or something happened.
Yep, and everyone lives underground.
Anyway, she lives there with her dad, Gagumber. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and she wants to be a what was it called? A marker. He does not want her to do that, so he keeps stopping her. And anyway, the whole thing about markers is they apparently go out in this thing called a labyrinth, and they go explore and map it out and everything, and find stuff. Yeah,
because apparently there's a whole bunch of different cities all underground, and they're connected via the labyrinth.
Yeah.
So having a good map of the labyrinth is important, so that those cities can stay connected. And that's what markers do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's monsters and things in the labyrinth, and it's dangerous.
Yeah. Anyway, they work as kind of like they more or less miners. They dig around for stuff, and but there's also they know Linda and Walsh who they are they're markers of some sort, and they fight the monsters and whatnot, and then unfortunately they also die.
Yeah.
And so there's also this legend about this person named Urarop, who's some sort of legend when it comes to markers, and they somehow sent a map to Memenpu. And it's a map of, and it's also a picture, or not a map, but there's also a tower picture as well. It's like this tower that Memenpu keeps seeing in her dreams, and now she got a photo of it, so she knows it's real. So the idea is, the whole thing is her and her dad are going on a journey to go, I guess, again, it looks like they're going to the surface to see this tower. Or something like that.
Yeah.
There's also a bunch of the kaiju and a bunch of stuff, and yeah, that's their thing. They're going to mech. There's mech in this stuff. They're going to mech, and this it's basically one of those two pilot things.
Yep.
And they go out, and it also can transform all that stuff, and that's what it is. Yeah, it really it got my attention pretty quick, and watching it, yeah, it deserved my attention.
Yeah. The description is kind of vague on it. It's kind of hard to really pin down a lot of those details, but yeah, it is one of those. It kind of sounds interesting, and I think at least in the first 3 episodes, it really set that. It's something I want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, a lot of things. I saw someone describe it as Made in Abyss meets Gurren Lagann.
I only know half of those.
Yeah, but one Made in Abyss, one of those has kind of been floating around because we've definitely been.
It has been recommended to us.
We've been informed of it. We kind of didn't hesitating because of some reasons. Elements we've heard about it.
Yes, there's some.
But anyway, someone said it's like that except without the creepy stuff.
Without the creepy stuff.
And so far, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. It's in the sense that we're getting a kind of so far seemingly a wholesome, but what we've seen a wholesome father and daughter
bonding adventure
thing. Yeah, so. It's actually pretty fun. It's got really stylistic animation and stuff, and to the point, weirdly enough, it's a very Trigger-esque in some ways, which is weird because it's not Studio Trigger.
It's not Studio Trigger, but I do see that.
It's Satellite,
which does have some track record, if I remember correctly. They got, I think we went through that, what other things Satellite has
that was Satellite. Let's see. We're looking at there right now. Some Across, Symphogear. Log Horizon. I know. Bodacious Space Pirates.
There it is.
More Macross. Well, I heard about that. That's one I was thinking about watching. But I heard it was pretty bad. It's a girly Space Force. Yeah, so a bunch of stuff. We've been working on a couple games. Yeah, lots of Macross though.
Lots of Macross, and that's a big name right there.
Yeah,
so
big mecha thing. But yeah, it's interesting. And the mechas themselves, they're like they transform this little like tankish looking thing.
Which it also helps getting your interest.
Yeah.
Mechs, robots that transform.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty great. Yeah, so it's pretty neat looking, and I'm actually really, I really want to watch more of this, and it's got a lot of interesting stuff going on, and the music's really good because also the music's kind of jazzy and all this stuff. It's very, very different from a lot of anime in that sense.
Not all anime, but yeah,
and a lot of anime.
We were just talking about Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah. But it's really neat looking, and just it's very stylized and really cool looking and everything, and just
the first 3 episodes really open up the story. I think enough to get your interest without spilling a whole bunch of information.
Yeah.
3 episodes in, I think it has a lot of potential, and I really want to see where it goes, and I hope it executes on its potential. I've seen shows that don't, and that's disappointing. But I think it'd still do it, and I'm definitely interested to see where it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so far, unless it goes, for me, from what I'm seeing so far, unless it goes really off the rails, it's probably going to hold my interest all the way in.
Off the rails in a bad way.
Yeah. The thing is also it's an adaptation of a novel called Sakugan Labyrinth Marker.
Yep.
Which then was also now is turning into a manga and this anime, which is interesting in itself. And the manga only just started a couple months ago. We're going to see how this works out, but yeah. No, we're English Double coming out in November. Later, November 18th, but yeah, so far, yeah. It's great looking so far, and I am definitely want to keep checking it out, and I am really hoping that, it holds my interest, because it's like a lot, in many ways, checks many boxes.
Yeah, checks a lot of boxes for you. I'm not as interested in transforming robots as you are. I still think they're cool, but
also the 3rd episode ended on a bit of a cliffhanger thing. They just kind of ran into some guy in a business suit.
Oh yeah, they ran into that because
that's all we know.
Location they were trying to get to.
They're made it somewhere.
Yeah, they're trying to get somewhere, and then someone met them, and I guess yeah.
And it kind of ends there. And apparently they're important because they show up in the OP, so they're clearly important.
Yeah, clearly.
There's some girl who also showed up briefly who we saw her like kind of react to some news from the For there's some radio DJ in the underground city, and like she's reacting to the news, and then she goes off. But she's also clearly important because she's also in the OP.
Yep.
Also, she has one of those. She has a design which shows that she's important.
Yes, that's one thing you can tell if they have those certain extra details in their design. You know that they're important characters.
Oh yeah, the other thing is the robot's name is Big Tony.
Big Tony, yes.
Because Meiruko has a little plush named Tony.
Yeah, a physics-defying plush.
Yeah, because she's genius, so she keeps inventing stuff. Like she found a way to better find these gems they're like searching for, the ore they're looking for, and stuff like
builds
that.
detectors and such
And
like that.
Something to do with that plush. She did something to that plush has a lot of things like a parachute and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. There was the other thing. Her dad.
Yeah.
Gagumber is apparently a former marker and doesn't want to talk about it.
Part of the reason why he doesn't want her to be a marker because he knows
I know what it's like, and I want to protect my kid.
Considering everything, also
child.
Considering it looks like markers are in pairs, which means
probably
something happened.
Yeah, because mom's not around. So I'm assuming it was mom
either
and dad.
mom or some just general partner. But yeah, I'll just assume probably.
I mean, it leads me to believe that his partner as a marker was her mom, and she died, and that may be the reason why. One of the reasons why. It would make sense if that's the case.
Another thing about it was actually neat about Gagumber. We actually really see him struggling with the whole thing. It's like, his daughter is 9 years old and really wants to already go out into the world and stuff. He just wants her to be a kid for a little bit longer.
Yep.
He's having a hard time letting go, which understandable. It's a parent thing.
Understandable, yeah. Especially that early.
Yeah. And she's just hell-bent on going. So it's like, okay, fine. I don't have to let go yet because I'll just go with you.
Just go with you, yeah.
Because it's clear, it's becoming abundantly clear he's not going to dissuade her from what she wants on this one. She's got her heart set on this, so.
Yep.
All right.
She's going one way or another.
Go with her and make sure she stays safe.
Yep.
Ish.
Safe as safe can be out there.
Yeah, because they have one of the things where they encountered those, one of the kaiju, because the small one's like a swarm. And yeah, she gets almost trapped, and then he tells the very saves the day and sitting in her seat because she locked him out.
Yep.
She has to do things like she had to weld extra stuff to the pedals so she can reach them because she's short.
Because she's so short, tiny little legs.
Because she's 9.
Anyway,
it's really good looking so far.
It's pretty good,
and I really hope it stays that way because Anyway,
moving on.
Well, on to the second one, this is one I actually really was hoping for we got it. Meiruko-chan, which it's about Miko Yatsua, and she's just a standard teenage girl. Got a best friend named Hana, all this stuff. And then eventually she starts seeing ghosts, and that's not great.
That's not good.
Yeah, but the thing is, because a lot of Japanese folklore, if you acknowledge the ghost, then they can get you.
Yep.
So she's sitting there pretending she can't see them. Well, even when they leave, then she freaks out because, oh God, I just saw a ghost. And so far, a large chunk of it has been her trying to, make it go away.
Yep.
And just trying to, deal with it and all that stuff.
And not get got.
Yeah, not get got, I guess. And also dealing with, how other people can't seem to see them. Yeah, so on that front, it's actually pretty interesting. It's a horror comedy, which you can do. It's just kind of hard.
Yeah, I've seen.
It's one of those things where it's harder to pull off just because you have to scare people and make them laugh.
Yeah.
And it can be a little more difficult. Zombieland Saga kind of falls in that, except more on the comedy side of that.
A lot more. Yeah, it's comedy,
but also it's dark and dark. I mean, we were open with the first few minutes of girl gets hit by a truck.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah, Zombieland Saga doesn't play that much into the horror. It's just like
it does do it though. I mean, there's that the one the bathhouse and the pharmaceutical CEO, and she sees them and freaks out because they're corpses. But
but it plays it plays it very differently.
Yeah, this one is so it's kind of interesting on that. There's really weirdly enough not a whole lot to build off of so far.
They're introducing some
they're
extra stuff
taking
in the third
it slow.
episodes. Yeah, there's some things that it's pointing towards that it may go.
Yeah, like for example, one of the things we see is Miko goes to a I guess medium who calls herself Godmother, right? And she goes, first, she's kind of a scam artist too.
Yeah.
And she, this this Godmother's gonna sell Miko just kind of whatever prayer beads, right? But okay, then she actually sees. Apparently, she's not totally illegitimate. She has some legit power, spiritual power, or whatever. She sees the dark thing, she's following Miko and realize Miko's trying to pretend she can't see. Okay, so she gives her the most powerful thing, and that's still those prayer beads explode essentially because
it didn't work.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of it's just Miko kind of trying to deal with this horrifying thing like right in her face or whatever. In one case, she goes to bed and there it is, just in bed with her, and she has to pretend that she can't see it and still fall asleep.
Yeah, there's also another thing that seemed to be introducing, like with the cat.
Oh, yeah.
They find a cat and they're trying to find a home for it, and someone shows up and Miko sees a whole bunch of cat ghosts all over this person and goes, no, you can't have this cat, and then finds this other scary looking dude but has not scary cat ghosts.
Yes, they look
almost
happy.
Happy and bright and shining and not dark and creepy. And went, okay, you can have the cat. So I wonder if they're going to play into that where she can start seeing.
Yeah, it's pretty clear they established that there are some of these spirits aren't malevolent.
Yeah.
So there's stuff
also
like
the
that.
Spirits react to each other.
It's that too. Sometimes they do.
However,
we're getting to it. And there's another thing about it, which is unfortunately, the anime is very much wants to make sure that her friend Hana is very well endowed.
Yes.
They want to make sure you know this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a lot of creeping on that. And on top of that, there's also a lot of shots where it just kind of really lingers on Miko's butt.
Yep.
That happens very frequently, which is unfortunate and annoying, especially since they're in high school and everything.
Yep.
So there's that whole thing. It's really annoying, and there's even a whole thing where like one of the ghosts is like just straight up like just latching itself all over Hana, who doesn't see anything, so she's just kind of completely unaware, including so basically, so then Hana or Miko trying to make it go away starts spraying Hana with hand sanitizer, and then of course that soaks her white shirt, and
yep.
Or then the changing room, and of course Hana just making casual remarks, I think I got bigger again or whatever nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and of course Miko having her breast envy and all that stuff.
Yeah. It's just fan service.
Standard anime fan service nonsense, which is really frustrating, particularly how they just really, really push it in.
Yeah, it just feels kind of ham-fisted in. It just
really ham-fisted.
Yeah.
Which sucks because outside of that,
it could definitely
it's pretty fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good potential there.
I was really enjoying it outside of those bits.
Yeah. But they throw it in, it's just
I want to think Miko is actually, I think she's a pretty solid character in herself. Hana, again, outside of this unusual bull, I guess, it's also a pretty solid character.
Yeah, it could be a decent supporting
because this whole thing, like Miko, sees the ghost and everything. She's trying, not to acknowledge him, and has to also trying to protect Hana from, I guess, whatever's going on there. And
I guess
sometimes leads to weird stuff.
Yeah, unfortunately, I tended, that's another avenue that they'll bring fan service.
You got the fun stuff of like, Miko realized, I could just walk through them, can't I?
Yep.
And of course, also winding up with her face just in a side of its ghost side, just standing there like, well, this is how it is now.
Yep.
There's also a third character who, again, she appears in the OP, but she hasn't really done much yet.
And she's shown up a couple times.
She's talked. Miko and her have talked once or so, but
we've seen her once but hasn't actually done anything.
We haven't seen her a whole lot yet, but it's clear she's important. And I'm guessing, based off what we've seen, is she's very much.
She can see them too.
She can see them too. Yeah, that's what it looks like from what I've seen, particularly with the OP or the ED, I should say, because in the ED you get the stuff like, you see like Miko like surrounded by ghosts and Hana completely nothing, and then you get to this other girl and she's surrounded by ghosts and stuff again. It's like, there's something going on there.
It's the blonde twin tail.
Yeah, got his shadows under her eyes too.
I mean, it's gonna be hard to get sleep. I think Miko's gonna look like that eventually too.
Starting to.
Yeah, it wears on you pretty quick.
Yeah,
like you said, it's got definitely, there's potential. The story is definitely interesting. The underlying story, trying not to react to stay alive and going with all that sort of stuff. The fan service crap. God, it just hurts it so much.
It's really
not a fan of that. But otherwise, it definitely could have potential. I just wish it didn't have the rest of that.
That's just the really annoying part. Because this is I would rather it didn't have that.
Yeah,
it's just really frustrating because it's otherwise it's otherwise great. It's just that part.
Yep.
There was a Miko. I think I recall Miko has a. trying to think of something. Yeah, doesn't Mika have a sibling? Want to say? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, she does. Yeah.
Has a brother, younger brother.
Yeah, that's right. Because in the opening scene that we kind of opened with, they're watching some horror thing, some weird horror thing on TV.
Yeah, and that's kind of how it starts. And it introduces the concept of don't react to them. Because they see that, and then they're talking about it later, and they mention that before.
Because they got stuff like the fun one, just talking to your friend right there, and then the ghost just kind of gets right in front of you. You have to.
Yep, you have to, because it's already happened with me.
Can you
He just
see
kind
me?
of freezes and stops talking, and then.
Yeah, can you see me?
But you can't answer, because then it'll get you. But you freeze up and stop talking at all, and now your friend's going, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah, Hano's just sitting like, "Are you okay? Why are you just staring at me?"
Yep.
And then Hana just freezes the situation. Are you about to ask me out? Yeah. So it's again. I'm gonna go ahead personally and keep watching, but yeah, I'm hoping it at least tones it down or at least doesn't get worse.
Yeah.
Because I'm really worried at some point it's gonna get really gross about it.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see. We'll see how that. I'll see anyway. I'm not sure about you. I'll see at some point if it gets worse or anything.
You watch it and tell me.
Right. So yeah, personally, it's just I think I like a lot of it. It's just that part's frustrating. So hopefully it's not doesn't get worse.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the third one, which is Tact Op Destiny, which is part of a multimedia franchise thing, which it's a mobile game. I think I'm not sure if the mobile game's out. Yeah, okay, it did release, at least in Japan. But yeah, it's just okay. It's like a music thing, in which it takes place in like the mid 21st century, so in about 30 years or so, a little less than.
The technology in the show. Yeah, exactly.
25 years or so. About the year 2047, and there's this whole backstory. Apparently, some sort of stones came down from space and they had power or something, and then these other stones came out. These monsters came out of those, and turns out something to do with they don't like music, so they attack music, apparently, or something. Anyway, so music's kind of dead in this world, except there's some limited stuff, although you have to be really careful. And so something was created to fight these monsters called music arts, and they fight the monsters. But there's also I guess they're handlers or whatever you want to call them, called conductors.
Yep.
Who I guess conduct their fight.
Yep. Through music, sort of.
Yeah. So there's basically about Tact, who's a conductor, and Destiny or Cosette, depending on what scene you're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is the music and the music art there, and they're fighting these monsters. They're called D2s.
Yep.
And they're right now the crux of the story is it takes place in the U.S. And right now I'm not sure exactly where they start, but they need to get to New York because apparently Destiny's wasn't formed correctly.
Right. Yeah. So apparently, creating a music art, there's
supposed to be a process.
There's a process,
and they didn't do the process, so now she's all unstable and stuff.
Yeah. So they're trying to get to New York, which is the conductor's headquarters.
Yeah. And that's kind of the crux of things. They're trying to go across the U.S. in a car, and there's a lot of parts of the U.S. which are like really dangerous because they're just hit so hard by the D2s.
Yep, and just full of them.
Yeah, and so that's the whole thing. And there's a lot of jumping around and stuff. And it ties in the game. I'm not sure exactly what kind of game it is. Let's see. Mobile game. What kind of mobile game? Okay, so it's will release. I'm not sure if it's actually out yet or not, but it's some sort of game. And I think it's a gacha thing with, basically music waifus, I guess. Yeah, it's a whole thing where it's like, it's a whole thing where it's like, Tact there, he had a dad who was a composer, and his dad died about 10 years prior, 2037, and thanks to, I think, to the D2s and stuff. He really loves music, but, he can kind of, strangled by the fact, can't play music because, then the D2s will come. So he just kind of plays a piano in his garage. And then, there's Cosette and Anna, who's Cosette's older sister. Yeah. They have multiple sisters, but yeah. They keep coming by and checking on him and everything, and eventually convince him to come to his festival thing, and that's when the D2s attack.
Convince, in heavy air quotes.
Yeah.
They steal his piano.
Convince. aggressive convincing.
Yeah, they steal his piano and bring it to the festival to make him come.
Yeah, and in which way he has a fun time until the D2s attack.
Until the
And
Fire
then
Nation
Cosette
attacked.
gets more or less killed. This weird thing. Cosette gets killed by one of the D2 attack, in the D2 attack, and then somehow then something happens and she becomes Destiny.
Yeah, so Cosette had this weird necklace.
Yeah,
they haven't explained the necklace yet, at least in the first 3 episodes.
Yeah.
That activates and she becomes Destiny, the music art, and makes Tact a conductor.
Yeah. The weird thing is his arm comes off when he does this, and she like starts absorbing like his life force or something when she fights.
Yeah,
which is apparently we find out that's not supposed to happen.
Apparently that's not supposed to happen.
A very bad thing is really a sign of the instability, because one of the things is they said this has never happened before. There has never been a music art who's been created like this.
Yeah. And I think it may have something to do with their injuries, because when they were attacked, Cassette got hit like in the lower chest, upper stomach region off the side. But Tact's right arm was just completely messed up.
Yeah.
So anytime Destiny goes, full transform, magical girl, whatever you want to call it, Tact loses his right arm.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it has something to do with the injuries they incurred during that.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The big thing is the core of the music is it's classical music. I mean, she's Symphony No. 5, Destiny. Beethoven's 5th.
Yep.
And there's also we read another music art called Titan. Who's a conductor named Lenny, and her symphonies, I can't remember which one it was, but some other one, another classical symphony we had is whole thing there. But yeah, there's the whole thing. They're trying to get to across New York, and they're going to this crappy. They're going to this crappy 70s style car. It's weird.
The tech levels. TVs.
The tech level is weird because we're seeing like TVs with like CRTs with dials and stuff, and we got a car that looks like it was built in the 70s, but it's 2047. The stuff doesn't look that old, so it's kind of weird. Either technology got reset a bit when those D2s attacked, or this is kind of a weird Fallout like thing where technology just kind of stopped in a weird way, in some weird ways.
Yeah.
In which way, there's a bunch of stuff, and there's also the first episode is very in media res, and that we just kind of open with here's Tact and Destiny fighting a D2 and then passing out.
Yep.
And then going to a diner and fighting more D2s and passing out.
Yep. Yeah. So in media res, that's the starting partway through and then explaining what happened later.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then besides like those things, like Destiny needs power, and to do so she needs to eat a lot.
And she does.
Yeah, she does. Like eating an entire pie, just gone.
Yep. And it's probably, yeah, and they explain it as part of her instability, and she's inefficiently using power probably because of all that stuff. They haven't explained it all by the 3rd episode.
Yeah, she's got some weird sword gun thing.
Which is part of the course. I think cool. Titan had something similar.
Titan had a shotgun.
Oh, yeah. Titan seems great.
Titan seems
I like Titan.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff going on there. This other thing is it's done by Studio Mappa. Yeah, Mappa.
Yet another Mappa thing. How many things are they working on right now?
There's working on too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've been over that one.
Yeah. The other thing, apparently it's an RPG, the game.
Oh.
I don't know anything about it, but some familiar voices, like Anna is voiced by Kaede Hondo, who did Sakura in Zombieland Saga.
Yep.
She also does the voice of Destiny in the game, but not in the anime. Okay. That's the thing. And so on and so forth. So yeah, I got a lot of familiar VAs and whatnot. The one thing I would say is the actual character, weirdly enough, I'm not super invested in Tact, Destiny, and Anna yet.
I think out of those 3, Anna's
probably because she's the one who's just kind of the normal one who's just trying to keep it all held together.
Yeah.
I'm just at this point I'm not super interested in them as characters. A lot of the plots, the lore stuff is kind of interesting, but like these 3 characters specifically, I'm just like, you haven't sold me on these characters yet, and if we're gonna follow them around, you need to do this.
Yeah, either shift your storytelling to be more focused on the really interesting world building that you're doing, or make your characters a little bit more interesting. Because the lore that's happening seems really interesting, and some of the execution is nice. I mean, like the fight scenes and the action scenes are good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the art is good. The animation is good.
Music's great because I'm on bed.
Okay, yeah, the music director is Ryo from Supercell.
Yeah,
which is a massive name. Supercell. Made famous from Miku songs.
Yeah.
So
and on top of that, they also integrate a lot of classical music into their
yes,
theming.
a
So it
lot
makes sense.
of it either just using the straight classical music or reinterpretations or remixes or whatnot.
It's always nice to hear,
yeah.
the dun 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 dun.
Yep.
But yeah, that's the whole thing. The biggest one, I think, the one that I think really rubs me the wrong way, honestly, is Tact.
He's your bland, no personality male protagonist. So
somewhat.
So the viewer.
It does
can
on top of that.
himself.
He just seems to just. Yeah, there's a whole thing where just sometimes he just kind of seems a little he just rubs me the wrong way sometimes.
Yeah, and the whole kind of selfish, self-centered. It's like music is it. That's it, and he doesn't care about anything else.
Yeah, it's just all for him. I just want to play music. Okay.
Like that can work if you give me a little bit more detail. Because I mean, if you want to, you should lean into maybe it's a coping mechanism to deal with the loss of his father.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of.
But you've got to do a little bit more work here. It can work, but they need to put some more legwork into those characters to actually sell it. And by the third episode, they haven't. They might get better.
Yeah, hopefully.
I am interested to see what the world is like, and I love the music and I love the action. But when I'm more interested in background characters than your main two, that's not great for your characterizations.
The other thing is you got the D2s come from the stuff they come from is called Black Knight Saturate.
Yeah.
And then you got Harmonia ore is the only thing that counteracts, and that's what they use for like the music arts and yeah.
Yep.
That's a whole thing there. So it's kind of and it's also kind of interesting just because it's straight up just very much takes place in the U.S. like blatantly that one is American things.
Yeah.
There's also the thing was like there's a heavy implication that Tact and Cosette kind of there was a bit of a thing going on there.
Oh right.
Tact and Cosette. There's kind of an implication that there's a bit of a thing, but that's kind of somewhat over.
Yeah, because apparently when someone becomes a music art, who they were beforehand is gone.
It's just gone. Yeah, it's now she's Destiny, and she's not Cosette at all.
Yeah.
Anna keeps calling her Cosette because Anna has a hard time letting go of her sister, surprisingly.
Which makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Anna's having a hard time. You can tell he's like even trying to get Cosette to call her, One-chan.
Yeah.
Or that sort of thing.
One-chan.
So that's that sort of thing.
We haven't mentioned Lenny all that much. We just kind of the character of Lenny. I just love how he introduced. I mean, it's just but and like a halter top kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It's like
hey, there's your fan service.
See,
there's your fan service. What do you mean you don't like it?
Speaking of fan service, yeah, that's like, especially since we came into this one right after. Yeah, Meiruko-chan.
Pretty light on it.
It is actually really light on it.
Almost non-existent, essentially.
Yeah, which is really nice that we don't have super play because I was worried when I first saw pictures of Destiny. Like I saw someone was like, "Oh look, this is going to be the next waifu," and it's like, "Oh boy, are we going to play this one up?" But it isn't played up for fan service all that much.
Yeah, no, it's one of the things I think Mappa tends to be better about.
Yeah,
tends to be. They tend to slip up. On that front, anyway, for all their faults, that's one thing to do right. It's also Mappa and Madhouse. That was the other.
Mappa and Madhouse, yeah. Big names.
Yeah, Mappa and Madhouse are joint on this one. Two big names kind of working together on this one.
Yep.
Yeah, so for me personally, I think it's interesting enough. I'll probably, at least for now, to keep looking at it, but if those characters don't get much better, I might just go ahead and drop it.
Right. That's about the same for me. I can see that it has potential, but it still needs a little bit of legwork to get there, at least by the third episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we'll see. And so the fourth and final one is Selection Project, which it's an idol anime.
It's an idol anime. Oh boy,
my wheelhouse. But yeah, and this one is it's an idol anime. It's kind of this reality show about idols, kind of a American Idol-esque in a way. That sort of thing where it's just like these girls all kind of apply and they have to compete and they have to get through all the different rounds to try to be selection, be the number one winner for Japan and whatnot.
Yep.
And one of the big things, the main character, Suzune Miyama, is she's coming in and doing the things. He was inspired from a previous winner when she was a kid. And the thing was, when she was a kid, she was also hospitalized frequently. She had some sort of illness with her heart, of course, because that's a very common thing
It is really common.
It's how do we have a serious illness with one that's, that won't outright kill them?
Yep. has a weak heart. So they in the hospital a lot.
Anyway, which way? So she's, it's been her dream to do this because of something that she was inspired when she was a little kid.
Yep.
Right. Akari Amasawa, who was her inspiration. So she applies for this selection project thing, and she winds up meeting other people, these other idols or potential idols who all want this thing, and they got different what they call them, blocks or whatever, all having to, you have to win that to move on to the next one, and they're get to the point where I kind of guess at the final, selection process, the final round, where it's it's final rounds because it's multi-round thing, where they good work hard to get through to be number one. Yeah, right. Yeah, so there's the whole thing. She meets a bunch of other characters, of course, the wide selection at Rena Hananoi, Hiromi Hamaguri, I guess Mao, that sort of thing. Nodoka Yagi.
There's a bunch of them. Like a lot of idol anime.
So far, that none of them haven't been too fleshed out yet, but I suspect we will see them over the course of the anime be a little fleshed out, although I suspect it's going to focus primarily on a couple of them in particular.
Yes.
But yeah, she has so anyway, Suzune, there's a finalist in the 7th season. This is the 7th season, so it's one of those things that's been running for a while. The thing is, Akari, her inspiration, died in a car accident. So that's the whole thing.
Yep.
And one of the big plot points also is Suzune lost initially because when she was in the middle of singing, she just collapsed on stage and even kind of where am I? What am I doing?
Yep.
Oh crap! And then just goes back to singing, and she lost because of that. Because there was Seira, Kurusu Seira, it was the actual winner, who then dropped to let Suzune, because I guess her in her head is Suzune should have won.
Yep.
Even though it's because I think Suzune also got second place, even though she collapsed in the middle
of it. Yeah.
One could argue it's possibly she got the sympathy vote.
Yeah.
Anyway, she moves on to the finals, and she meets Reina, who's actually turns out to be the younger sister of Akari. Oh dear. But anyway, Reina's also very standoffish. Basically, kind of almost badmouth Suzune, basically implying that she only got here, she didn't deserve to be here, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
We also start seeing towards the end of at least the end of this 3-episode run we watched, Reina might be warming up a bit to Suzune, because of course she is.
Of course.
And yeah, there's also this weird mascot character who's kind of weird and creepy.
Yep.
Which might imply there might be something more going on than just, this is an idol anime. It might be more to it than that. I'm not sure yet. Surprise, it's Danganronpa or something. Essentially.
Danganronpa.
Yeah. I like the characters. It's one of the things. It's one of the things with this. This is an anime like this. You really need to have strong characters.
Yeah.
I like particularly the main two. I think they really establish a good rapport pretty quick. It's not, again, kind of standoffish at times, but also, you got a whole thing where it's Suzune is just doesn't care about if Reina is kind of being a jerk to her. She's just gonna keep, following around like a puppy.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's that sort of thing. I actually kind of like it so far.
It could definitely be interesting. Idol animes are definitely more your wheelhouse than mine. There's a cat girl.
Yeah,
but that's a thing.
Yeah, she's a weird, rich, spoiled girl.
Shiori, I want to say it is.
I think so.
Yeah, Shiori Yamaga.
Yeah.
Very, very cat-like, even has slit eyelids in the cat face, but she's also, super rich and spoiled.
Yeah.
At the same time. But yeah, like you said, for something like this, it's an idol anime, so while the details and how they get there are going to be a bit different, the basic idea is going to be relatively the same amongst all of them. So you do really have to focus on unless you have some weird twist in the story, you are definitely going to have to focus on the characters. But again, we have a bunch of characters, so you're going to have to focus on a lot of them, and you're going to run out of time.
Yeah, I suspect that those two specifically, Suzune and Reina, are going to be the focus.
The focus, yeah. And that is what it seems like it's going to...
With the others just kind of probably incidental in the background. Although the third episode kind of left off with a bit of a tease of sorts, because you got Sumipanda, who's the mascot character, creepy character thing. There's a whole thing that they have to get 10,000... What was it? 10,000 or was it 100,000?
100,000.
100,000 votes to get through to the next round or whatever. And Rena and Suzune got a huge boost once because word got out that Rena is the younger sister of Akari, and she's kind of upset about that because she didn't want to get votes for being her sister. Understandable.
They understand. They ended up with like 50,000 votes, and they hadn't even shown up on screen yet at all. So it's like you got half of what you needed immediately, and you didn't even do anything.
Yeah, and Rena was kind of upset about that.
Yep. But then I guess Suzune and Rena kind of started to work through some of their issues.
Yeah. Although Rena's still kind of being
thing and
Rena's still a little bit kind of trying to keep a distance of sorts.
Yep. Although sometimes you kind of forget the very end. She almost forgot.
Oh yeah, high five. Wait, no.
I'm supposed to be stoic and upset.
I'm cool. I'm too cool for you.
Yep.
Yeah. The other thing was because the other thing was it's a selection process where you kind of had to choose like what aspect you want, like the whole music, singing, and the dancing.
Yeah.
And those Susan and Rena picked singing, so they're stuck together. And then you got the other girls who are like music, so they're in a band now. And then you got the ones with dancing, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Basically, if you don't get 100,000 votes, you're out. Period.
You're out. Yeah. So it's almost, and they put them all in a remote building. They shipped them off and put them in one big building with video cameras.
Yeah.
So it's almost like Big Brother or something.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is reality. It's show. Yeah. There's like also in Japan. There was Terrace House, although that kind of ended in controversy recently. There's a bit of controversy there. That towards the end, I can't remember what happened exactly. Things went bad. But yeah, it's that sort of thing. It's kind of it's reality TV. It's the idea. It's supposed to be a reality TV show. So the idea is while they're competing, they're also living together and blah blah blah. That whole thing. Because
yay, drama.
Yeah, it makes for good drama. And they also the last thing was with at the end of the third episode, the mascot Sumo Panda warned the other two teams that we've never had a double elimination in the first round.
Get going.
Yeah, your two groups need to actually,
pressure's up.
Yeah, just kind of pushing us. So I was going to see if he's trying to. Yeah, the guy, the mascot thing, the way that acts is so weird and off-putting. It's you wonder what's going on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of implications. Like he just pops up literally out of nowhere type stuff, and he gets kind of creepy and weird and.
Yeah.
Sometimes this undertone of being eliminated is much worse than you think it is. Type of stuff.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's just like a thing that's going to be a thing, like a legit part of the story, or if it's like a running gag.
Yeah, it's just weird. If it's just weird, or if there's actually something sinister going on.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, it's a genre still. I'm seeing it says slice of life, but don't know if that's going to stay true. I'm not sure. It's like one day it's just going to be changed to slice of life, psychological horror.
Oh no.
Oh no, I've been doki-dokied again.
You got doki-dokied.
Oh no. Yeah, actually, I've genuinely been liking it, and I think I'm going to keep up with this one for sure. And you're just like, whatever.
I mean, it could be good. Again, I'm not as in. It's an idol anime. This is your wheelhouse, not mine.
The other thing is,
it seems fine.
The CG when they were dancing was weirdly smooth.
Yeah, that was
too good. It was weird. It was so good. Now it stands out for it's standing out for. It looks weird and out of place because it's too smooth. It's like that's one common complaint about CG in anime is often it's like running at like 15 FPS or something like that, so it looks weird.
Yeah, it's similar to the common complaint about CG in general is that the CG stands out.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about particularly anime.
Yeah.
In anime, often for some reason, the CG is rendered at a lower frame rate than the rest of the show.
This one's the opposite direction.
It's like, wow, that's weirdly smooth. Like, I think what's happening is it was rendered at 30, and the anime, it's animation, so it's drawn at 24 FPS, and they get the CG going 30. Yeah, so kind of like, why is it so smooth?
Went crazy and went full 60.
I don't know.
Why would you
do
that?
I don't think they would, but yeah, it's just it was weirdly smooth. It was good looking, but really stood out because of how smooth it was.
Yep.
I don't know. It's one of those things where if the whole thing was animated like that, it wouldn't have been a big deal. In fact, we probably wouldn't have even praised it for like being really good looking, but
yeah, there's going to be those detractors regardless. Any existence of CG is bad.
Yeah, but if it's just one piece of it, just kind of like, what? Anyways, this one was done by Doga Kobo Studio, I guess.
I do not recognize that one.
I forgot to actually mention Meiruko-chan's Passion, which they did High School DxD, and it's Citrus, oh geez. Higurashi, interspecies reviewers.
Oh no.
Oh, Wasteful Days of High School Girls. I watched that. That was actually pretty good.
Oh. But they also did interspecies affairs.
But
Oh,
Doga Kobo here for selection project. There's a couple things Yuri.
Oh.
They did that.
We need to watch that one, I think.
Yep, we do. I watched Himoto. Maru-chan. I watched that one. I watched. Oh, new game. Gabriel Dropout. Oh, wow. Yeah, I recognize a lot of this stuff.
Okay. So I don't recognize it, but I should, basically.
Well, that was one that almost got in once. Oh, Diary of a Days of Breakwater.
Oh, I was thinking about keeping up on that one, and then I never did.
Oh, this is another one that I saw was on the list of possible, which my senpai is annoying. I heard some decent stuff about that one for this season. Yeah, that's some stuff that's popped up. Let's see, anything in OVAs. Morimoto. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, so they've done a couple things. Yeah. I'm personally interested. I'm probably going to keep watching it. I'm now kind of getting invested in Suzune and Rena's relationship. I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah.
There's always that stupid hope of, will it be gay?
Will it be gay?
Yes,
just
please.
Don't queerbait,
yeah.
please.
And the thing is, the manga apparently started in July, so it's a fairly new property.
Interesting.
Is there a game thing attached to it at all? I'm not sure. I don't see anything. So yeah, so far it's just a manga and a anime. Based on Kadokawa's Idol Audition X reality show multimedia. Okay. Which began in December 2019. Okay, so it's based on something.
Okay. All right.
Just, yeah. Weird thing. Okay. Yeah, that's the 4 anime. I'm personally, actually, for once, I want to watch all 4 of them. And keep watching all 4 of them. I am actually genuinely shocked that we actually got 4 goods-ish selections.
Yeah.
Some... One of them has a bit of a asterisk, but...
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like, I'm actually genuinely interested in watching all 4 of them and keeping up with them. So I'm quite pleased with that because, there's a couple times where we got like 3 or 4 bad ones or mediocre ones even.
Yeah, we've had some of those. It's just like,
but to get 4 that I'm genuinely interested in, I'm quite pleased with that. Quite happy with it, So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to all 4 of them, even with, some of the warts. How about you?
I might keep up on with Sakugan on my own.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. That's one that really...
Yeah. I'll let you watch the other ones and let me know. Tactop, I might try to keep an eye on just because the music really catches my interest.
Right.
The music and the lore. When I saw Supercell, I was like, I'm going to have to keep an eye on this one, aren't I?
Yeah. That's enough for you.
Well, also music. I absolutely love music.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that one as well. But the other ones, I'll let you tell me what they're like later on, right. And maybe I'll watch them then.
Perhaps. Yeah. So that brings us to the end of this discussion.
Yep.
Had a fun time.
Yep.
I hope if you enjoyed it, you can check out past and future episodes at newtoweeaboo.lipsync.com. It's spelled LIBSYN. We have all the episodes are listed there in reverse chronological order. And also on top, you can subscribe there via our RSS feed. You can also subscribe to our other destinations, which are Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Podcasts, although Amazon Podcasts is not listed there. But all the rest of them are listed on the top with some buttons. Nice little buttons to click. And you can subscribe to any of those and keep up with the podcast as it comes out. We're still at this point bi-weekly. And yeah, of course you can contact us via email, newtoweeaboo@gmail.com if you have anime recommendations or questions or criticisms or what you thinking of these fall anime, any other fall anime you've been watching. I don't know. Again, this is a random process. We don't fully control it. Yep. Other than sometimes it's like, we could drew one that's like, it turns out it's a 5-minute one. We're not going to do that again. We made that mistake way back when.
Oh yeah, or we draw one and it turns out just to be straight ecchi.
Or sometimes we can't watch it because we won't have 3 episodes to watch before we have to talk about it.
Right.
It's happened a couple of times. We had that with one. We actually did draw Komi Can't Communicate. It turns out we dodged the ball there because apparently Netflix screwed up the subtitling on that.
Yeah, because Netflix doesn't do typesetting subtitles.
Yeah.
So they don't really subtitle text on things.
Yeah.
In the show, which is like the only way Komi can communicate.
Yeah, then the thing, Komi communicates via just text, so it's like you have to translate it.
Yeah, you have to translate
they don't.
what is
So
written.
it's like, congratulations, you only get half a conversation.
Yep. Hopefully Netflix will go back and fix that, because that's unacceptable.
Bad. That's egregiously bad.
It's unacceptable. You cannot consider that a show that has text on screen that important. You can't consider it translated or subtitled.
Yeah.
Without that, I mean, it's just unacceptable.
So there's that stuff. Oh man, if you've been keeping up with that, you've probably been keeping up with the alternative sources.
Fan subs.
Shh. That's the thing. And of course, there's our Twitter at Weeaboo if you want to follow us there and keep up with the show that way. And of course, there's our personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1 and he's at Alcatraz77T and _ at the end. And yeah, that's it for this one.
Yep.
Join us in a couple weeks. We'll be talking about, speaking of idol anime, Love Live Superstar.
Oh no! Once again, we're back into Love Live.
The fourth time.
You just won't let me go.
Nope, I will not.
You were going to drag me into Love Live hell.
Idol hell, yes. I will force you into it.
It's not even just idol hell so far. Oh, somewhat idol hell, but just so much Love Live.
There's a lot of Love Live. Not my fault to keep releasing more. Probably. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about that next time. So hope to see you there.
Yep.
And anyway, as usual, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you then.
Yep.
Goodbye.
Bye.